Good morning. This is Daniel, and this is Shifting Perspectives. And for about 10, 15 minutes, we're just going to talk about a topic. And this morning, I didn't know what I was going to talk about. And so I just kind of let go and sat back on my chair and waited for something to happen. And what came to me is to talk about the Hummingbird house, the house where Valerie and I live in this magical place. So here we go. The Hummingbird house, before we became the caretakers of this house, we were living in uptown Sedona. And Valerie had bought a house about 13 years ago. Pretty decent price. She made a great buy on this house. It was a duplex on the corner lot, uptown, right near, a block away from all the shops and all that stuff. And it was a great income to pay for the mortgage of the house in total. So, we kind of got used to that. Oh, it's, nice to have the mortgage paid for and we don't have to come up with too much to cover everything, as long as the Airbnb was occupied. But, with an Airbnb, you got to deal with fixing things and cleaning things and people not showing up and all that kind of stuff that goes along with that. So there was some price to pay for that. Um, and then what happened was we started to look for properties that we could move out into an area about 25 miles south of Sedona called Cornville or Page Springs. We were looking at Rimrock, Kent Verde. Those are all little areas outside of Sedona proper. And we found a couple places and we got really hooked into there. And we said, oh, okay, it's 10 acres and we'll need to get a property manager, an administrative person. And it really started to become this big thing. And we thought that that's what we wanted. And it just didn't pan out, didn't hook in. And it was a struggle and that kind of thing. So we just kind of let it go. And then we got a reading from someone that said, basically, don't worry about the property that you're looking for. It's already yours. You're already set up for it. And the current caretakers of the property are going to be like family to you. So we just kind of rolled our eyes and said, okay, wherever that is. So we just kind of went on with our lives and sort of forgot about it, but we just still had that passion in our hearts for it. And I think that was a really major piece, is to have that passion for it. And then things happened in the world that caused the current owners, the caretakers of the property here, to move out and to move to Sedona. And right at that time, we started to become like friends. So we became friends, but we started to become like family. And it all started to kind of take shape. We had them and some other local shamans in town to bless the medicine wheel that we had in our uptown property. And we started to become more friends this way. And then we started getting offers on our current house, which just kind of blew us away about what things were going for. So it started to look like things were coming together, and it was complicated and it was crazy and it was all happening at once. And even the real estate agents and our, became, who are our friends, were saying, this thing is divine. This thing is magical. What's happening here? And even when the owner of the property raised the selling price by $40,000, it still came together. And I remember coming down here for a birthday party of Carla, who's the beloved of Artie Looking Hawk, who was the caretaker for over 22 years. I came to a birthday party and I went down to the creek, down these 108 steps, these magical meditative steps that Artie created over something like 7 years or something. And I got down to the creek and it's just a different world down there. It's just, you're just dropped into nature right at the creek, and all the animals are at play down there. There's owl and black hawk and crawdads and turtles and deer and fish, uh, beaver and otter. And they're all at play down there. So they all have this complete different world down there. So I went down there and I just started crying at the beauty of this and how it just felt so much that it was ours to caretake. And all we needed to do was just allow it. And we did a little prayer. There's like a spiritual Indian chief that kind of is one of the caretakers of this property. And we tuned in with him and asked his permission and sought his blessing. Right over this way here in the south is a landmark of this area called Cornville. And the landmark, it goes by the name of Sugarloaf Mountain, but that's like all these mountains around here. It's been whitified. So I'm sure it's got some other name to it, some other indigenous name, but I haven't figured that out yet. But it's indigenous ruins up there. It's all been fenced off as an archaeological dig. And apparently there's some pit homes up there and some things up there. Some artifacts have been found that have washed down the mountain onto this property here, pottery fragments and tools and stuff like that. So pretty amazing to have the house butt up against that. So that's on the south end. On the east side, you get a beautiful sunrise view there. And it's just, it's a beautiful sunrise. There's our medicine wheel is out there, who was what was originally created by Dana Ross, who has created different water wheels and medicine wheels and has since passed. And so before he passed, we bought that from him and we had built it at our original property and then moved stone by stone and the gravel and the colored stones all over to here on the same day that we're moving the whole property. That all needed to be moved over. So that's been rebuilt actually 3 times. So there it sits in our front yard and it just looks like it's just meant to be there. You can see pictures of all this at thehummingbird.org. And now where I'm at the north end of the property. And the north end of the property has grass behind me. And we can see back there, there's right there, we got the, we call it the Sugar Shack. And we're going to turn that into some kind of meditative shack or some place where people can stay over there when they're here on retreat. There's beautiful Russian sage and flowers and bushes. And you can see behind me, there's hummingbird feeders. So the hummingbirds love this place. The other day we were out here and there's a red-tailed hawk that just flew right through the patio. And there's an owl that sits in the tree here. We've seen bobcat and fox right here on the grass here. They leave their little poops on the lawn just to let us know that they're here. There's a hummingbird on the feeder there. And on the west end of the property, we get a beautiful sunset. Let me see if I can move this camera so you can see this. So that's the west end of the property. And down below there, right there, you can see there's some steps there. And that's the beginning of the 108 steps that Artie Lookinghawk created with friends, with helpers. And that leads down to the other part of the property where it's, that's what leads down to the Sweat Lodge and Oak Creek, which travels the 25 miles to get to our house and beyond. So when you go down to down those steps, the steps are created at such a height that you really are very present in each step that you take. And at first, when you first do these steps, it's kind of daunting because it's very steep. But you can see how Artie, when he created these steps, really created each one with this presence and safety. And so there's lots of room for your feet to get their planting on these steps. And as you go down, you'll see down the property, there's all these little elements of fairies and gnomes and Star Wars figure and pottery and crystals and all these things. As you walk down, there's so much to look at. And one of these days, I'm going to make a little photo album of all the different trinkets and jewels and things that are down these steps. So it's really magical. Once you get down to the bottom of the steps, now you're in this different world. Off to the left, there's a little meditative space that's got a little bamboo door. Then there's some blessed pieces of cotton there that sit in a sacred jar there. You can sit on this little meditative place there. But if you take a right turn, then that's where the sweat lodge is, or the purification lodge. And that's where Artie Lukinok and other people still hold sweat lodges. And I hold purification lodges with Valerie. And we've had men's retreat, or men coming here for different sacred rites and different celebrations. I've had people on a personal kind of a rite of passage, or deep look within. And so they combine that with a walk through the medicine wheel and kind of contemplating the balance of their, or imbalance of their life. And then we go down to the lodge and we go and we sweat and we pray in the heat, and then jump in the creek and have discussion and contemplation and coaching all through the whole experience. So this place is just, it's a place of expansion and wonder and beauty and serenity and fun. And lately, what Valerie and I and other people have been doing is we'll drive about 2 miles away up to this windmill park, and we'll break out our stand-up paddle boards, and we'll get in the creek and we'll float all the way down. We're sitting on the paddle boards and we float all the way down for about an hour, hour and a half, and it puts out right there at the property. So then we haul the boards up those 108 steps up from the creek, and it's just a magical journey. And we're just, the more time that we spend here, the more time that other people spend here, the more that your heart opens up and you go through this expansive transformation, that you get to find yourself again. And it's so I've never had this experience before, where I really feel like a caretaker. I really feel like a steward of the land, of the energy here, of what's going on here. And it's I've never had the experience of people saying, oh yeah, I've been to your property. Yeah, I've been going to your property. For years I've been coming here, and I love this place. Or I used to come here 15 years ago or 20 years ago, and I've been in sweats with Artie Lukinok. Or I've poured water here, and it just warms my heart. It just really kind of, oh my gosh, I'm a steward of, along with Valerie and other people, we're all stewards of this property. Not just Valerie and I, but everyone that comes here, we all get to caretake in this. And it's a completely different view on the land. And it just really takes you away from, I own this house, I own this property, this is mine kind of thing, into more of an indigenous way of looking at the land. And we definitely get to enjoy this, but it's not only ours, it's people that come here. One of the things that we do is we have a little bowl, and inside the bowl are different crystals and shiny metal objects and stones and little trinkets and stuff. And so we set it out there at the base of the steps leading down. And what we invite people to do is to dig in there and just see what one speaks to them, and then pull it out, and then go place it on the property somewhere. Don't tell us where it is, but just set your intention and set your energy there. And then we get to have everyone that has this full benevolent heart of love, set that love into the property and make their prayers for that. So what we've been attracting, perfectly enough, is we attract people with big hearts. We attract people that are really present and really in their joy, and also working on themselves and working through something. And they come here to work through that, to find a serene, peaceful place that can hold space for that. So this is that place. And you and I and people that come here and share your heart with this place, we've had probably so far, hundreds of people here so far, and we've only been here for 9 months, and it feels so good to share it with other people. So when your time is come and when you're ready to be here, we welcome you. And I'm looking at lizards all around here. There's lizards on this couch in front of me. There's a lizard over here. There's hummingbirds over here. And that's just the way this property is. So what else can I say? Oh, I should probably promote a little bit. So Valerie and I have decided to open up to a couple of retreats in September. One is, I believe it's September 22nd. Let me see if I can do a check here. Yeah, September 22nd for a spiritual day retreat. So from 9 a.m. to about 5 or 6 p.m., we're going to be going through the medicine wheel to help balance out our life. We'll come up here and spend time on the patio to talk about what people want to transform, what they want to let go of, see what's in their heart, and then go down and do a meditative walk down the 108 steps down to the creek. And maybe we'll spend some time in the lodge, and maybe we'll jump in the creek and have some fun, and just a day of fun at the Hummingbird House. So look for a flyer look for a page at hummingbirdhouse.org, thehummingbirdhouse.org, and a flyer that we'll put out really soon. I'm just about 80% done with it. And then the next day, or the next 2 days actually, is a relationship retreat. So we're going to work with couples or singles that want to improve their relationships, be that intimate or friend or otherwise. And we're going to be going through teaching, learning, breath work, balancing out your relationship through the wheel, but used in a different way. Again, going down to the sweat lodge, going down to the creek, meditation, more teaching. So it's just going to be 2 full days of really taking your relationship to a higher level, understanding the relationship dynamics that usually happen, how what you've been going through, what she's been going through, or he's been going through, plays out in your childhood trauma and what you've been going through your whole life. So one of the things that I say in relationship coaching is what you need her or him to be for you is what they long to become. And they just haven't known how to get there. So this will help you to get there, help you understand what your theme has been in your life and how to move through that, and how to realize that the person that's in your relationship is in a divine partnership with you to help you heal and integrate that. So we've got great tools to help you get there, and tools to take home with you, and great epiphany and realization, and for you to completely understand what's been going on and how to move through that, and how to have real conscious loving communication in a relationship. So yeah, all that can be done in 2 days, but we don't really work on the surfacey things in that sense. We go down to the core of things so that we can really heal, so that you can open yourself to a love that you've never maybe experienced before. So, and that's the love that Valerie and I share together. So we want to share that with you, tell you how to get there, and how we move through some things to open up to that. So hope to see you there, September 22nd through the 24th. People that do the 1 day and the 2 days get a $50 discount per person. So it's going to be $175 for the 1 day and $175 per person for the 2 day. And again, if you do the two of them together, you get $50 off per person. Does not include lodging. Don't bring your pets. Don't bring your kids if they're under 12 years of age, but bring your swimsuit. Let's see. Did I say no lodging? Yeah, lodging isn't provided. That's it. That's all I got. I think that was a long one. I hope to see you here. We both hope to see you here, and share your hearts and present with this place and with the energy here. Love you. Thank you, and bless you.